In the final days of World War II, as Hitler's empire crumbled, something vanished. Not a person, not a secret weapon, but something heavier, more valuable, and possibly cursed. Billions in Nazi gold disappeared from the heart of Europe, and 80 years later, much of it remains hidden. This isn't fiction, this is a real mystery, and it's never been solved. The Nazis didn't just march through cities, they plundered them. Art, jewels, private fortunes, and especially gold. Much of it was taken from Jewish families, banks, and entire national reserves. The looting was systematic, cold, and backed by the full machinery of the Third Reich. By 1945, as the Allies advanced from the West and Soviet forces closed in from the East, Hitler's inner circle made urgent decisions. The gold, worth billions even then, had to be moved, hidden. In April 1945, US forces stumbled upon one of the most shocking discoveries of the war. Deep beneath a salt mine in Merkers, Germany, they uncovered gold bars, paintings, foreign currency, even bags of stolen gold teeth pulled from concentration camp victims. The vault was stacked with over 100 tons of gold, and yet, it was only a fraction of what was missing. The Reichsbank, the central bank of Nazi Germany, had kept detailed records. But in the chaos of war, many ledgers were burned, erased, or forged. Intelligence suggested that convoys of trucks, trains, and even submarines carried Nazi treasures out of Germany during the last months of the war. Some made it to safety, others vanished entirely. One of the most haunting legends centers on a remote lake in Austria. Lake Toplitz, deep, cold, and surrounded by dense forest, was rumored to have been a Nazi dumping ground. In the 1950s, and again in the 2000s, divers explored the lake. They found counterfeit British pounds, crates of weapons, even rotting Nazi documents sealed in metal boxes. But no gold. Was the treasure ever there? Or was it a clever distraction? Another popular theory emerged from Poland in recent years: the fabled Nazi gold train. A heavily armed convoy allegedly vanished near Wrocław in 1945. Witnesses spoke of a train entering a mountain tunnel and never coming out. In 2015, radar scans of the mountainside revealed mysterious shapes underground. Excavations began. The world held its breath, but nothing was found. Still, believers insist the train is there, buried, waiting. It's not just bars of gold that disappeared. Priceless paintings, manuscripts, and religious artifacts looted during the war remain missing. Some have reappeared in private auctions decades later, with forged histories. Others may hang today in the homes of unaware owners, or be buried forever in bunkers beneath forgotten villages. By war's end, the Allies had recovered a fortune, but the mystery remained. Where is the rest of it? Millions of dollars worth of Nazi gold remains unaccounted for. Whispers point to secret bank vaults in Switzerland, tunnels under Bavarian castles, and vaults beneath the Vatican. But every lead ends in silence, sealed documents, or unexplained deaths. Protected. What if the world's most powerful banks, governments, and even religious institutions helped hide the treasure? What if they're still doing it? The Nazi gold trail didn't go cold. It was buried. Switzerland remained neutral during World War II, but neutrality didn't mean innocence. After the war, Allied investigators discovered that Nazi Germany had transferred over 440 million Swiss francs in gold to the Swiss National Bank, much of it believed to be looted. Why would neutral Switzerland accept blood gold? The answer lies in secrecy laws, hidden vaults, and discreet financial practices that kept Nazi fortunes moving through the shadows. Despite decades of pressure, full transparency has never been achieved. Allegations emerged that the Catholic Church, through its various networks, may have aided in laundering Nazi wealth. One notable theory involves the so-called rat lines, secret escape routes used by Nazi officials after the war. Some historians claim stolen gold followed these rat lines to Argentina, Spain, and even the US, hidden inside Vatican properties and transferred through Vatican-linked banks. Official denials remain firm, but investigations have consistently run into dead ends. In the late 1940s, the US launched Operation Safe Haven to track down looted assets. Tens of thousands of files were compiled. some were declassified. Many were not. Among the uncovered documents were reports of Nazi gold surfacing in Turkey, Portugal, and Latin America. Entire cargo ships loaded with bullion appeared, only to vanish again. If Safe Haven knew so much, why weren't all the assets recovered? Because recovery wasn't always the goal. Some officials feared exposure, others saw opportunity. Cold War politics reshaped priorities, and the Nazi gold mystery was buried beneath diplomacy and secrets. But not everyone gave up. Independent researchers, ex-military officers, and obsessed explorers have spent decades trying to crack the case. From sonar scans in alpine lakes to clandestine digs in Eastern Europe, the search never stopped. In 1997, treasure hunters near Deutschneudorf, Germany, claimed to have found underground tunnels filled with war relics and possibly gold. Their excavation was halted by local authorities. Why? Safety concerns, they said, but those on the ground believed it was a cover-up, that someone didn't want the truth uncovered. Every gold bar stolen by the Nazis had a human cost. Families torn apart. Lives ended. Legacies erased. To this day, thousands of descendants of Holocaust victims continue to fight for restitution. Some have received compensation. Many have not, and the stolen wealth still missing, or worse, still in circulation. A gold coin sold anonymously in Zurich. A medieval artifact appears in a London catalog. A painting once hung in a Berlin apartment, now in a billionaire's collection. When tracked, these pieces often lead back to Nazi looting. But tracing ownership is difficult. Legal battles stretch for years, only to end in silence or confidential settlements. Why haven't more answers emerged? Because power protects itself. The further you go down the Nazi gold trail, the more you realize how many doors remain locked. Banks deny access. Governments redact names. Archives close mysteriously. The silence isn't just bureaucratic, it's protective. Because unlocking the full truth would implicate people, institutions, even nations. Over 80 years have passed. Billions in stolen treasure remain unaccounted for. Some say the gold will never be found. Others believe it already was, just never reported. But one thing is certain, wherever that gold is today, it tells a story, not just of theft and war, but of how history is rewritten, buried, and sometimes bought. This is more than a treasure hunt. It's a global mystery, and it's not over, because somewhere, beneath the soil or behind steel vaults, the Nazi gold still waits.